the music.
Welcome back to Anthony Lee Raw. Guys, we are live. It is Wednesday. Welcome to the Altcoin stream. I hope everybody's having a good day. Guys, we're going to go over a lot today. I'm going to show you guys how I turned $25,000 into $1.4 million last cycle. And I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. I'm going to show you this is no nonsense. This is where the life-changing money is made. I'm going to show you exactly how I do it, okay? If you ever watch a full video, live stream, whatever, and you care about making life-changing games, this is it, guys. I'm not going to bullshit you. I don't care. I don't care to blow smoke or fake hopium at you. I'm not about to tell you your coin's going to 50, 100x. I don't care. I don't care if my own coin 50x's. I'm going to ride my coin to a 6 to 8x, hopefully, Lord willing, and I'm going to sell for a 40x profit, okay? I've done it before multiple times, and I'm going to show you how to do it. If you do that, let's say your coin, let's say whatever coin you have is going to, I don't know, let's say it's going to 20x, okay? From bottom to top, you're going to do a 20x on your coin. First of all, you're probably not going to buy the bottom. You're probably not going to sell the top, right? You're going to get, hopefully, the meat of it in between, which is cool. That's what I'm going to do. But like, do you really want to sweat trying to get a 20x out of it with the, altcoins are going to have 50, 60, 70% drawdowns, pump and dump and da-da-da. Do you want to do that? Or do you want to 30, 40x your money after just a simple little 5 or 6x, right? And that's what I'm going to show you how to do. Because what if your coin doesn't 20x and you're sitting there just waiting on it to 20x and you miss your 5x? Yeah, I'm going to show you how to not do that, guys. I'm going to show you exactly what I did in the last cycle, so you can do it this cycle. So pay attention, guys. It's a couple simple strategies, and that's it. That's it. We've already multiplied our holdings, and I'm going to show you those in a second. But let's see who's here first. Johnny, number 5. What's up, bro? Max. Morning, Mighty Max. Guns up, Max. I'm looking a little scrawny today. I should be looking full. We had pizza last night. Look, I still got my pizza cup. Nick and Owls. Come find me, guys. Mississippi. There's the phone number, Nick and Owls. It was terrible, actually. It wasn't even good. I don't eat pizza very much. Like, I'm pretty strict on my diet. But it was leg day yesterday, and Jane was having a hard day, so we splurged, and it wasn't even good. I hate it when I cheat on my diet, and it's not worth it. Like, that really bothers me. Anyway, here's what it is. West Coast. What's up, bro? Max says, INJ. I'm tied in favorite alts with Fetch and INJ, so I put other just to comment another alt. Thanks, bro. I like INJ. Jack. What's up, brother? Jack says, thanks for my $1,000. I bought more Fetch with it. You're welcome. If y'all are just joining, Jack won 1,000 USDT the other day on the live stream. Bought Fetch with it. Smart man. Eons, good morning. Hawkborn, what's up, crew? Solo, what's up, man? What's up? Mechanic, how are you? Nice to see you, Marine Wife. Fetch and INJ, yeah, 2 of my favorites. 2 of my 3 that I own. Hawkborn worked back and shoulders today. Post new workout vids. I didn't do back and shoulders. I did chest and a little bit of tries today. Just a little bit of tries. I didn't do a video, though. I'll post you a picture, though. I'll give you a motivational picture. How's that? Mechanic, again, good morning. Salt Chain, happy hump day. It is hump day, ain't it? Clarence, what's up, brother? My hometown boy, Clarence. Y'all don't know, Clarence is from this isn't my hometown, but where I live now. Clarence is from here. Des says it is a good price to buy in J. Yeah, I agree. I bought some more alts this morning, guys. That's true. I did. All right, Hawkborn, here's your motivational workout picture today. I didn't do a video. I'm sorry. I was a little rushed today. But I give you the motivational guns out picture. How about that? That's from a few days ago. That's for you, bro. Guns out. Her down, guns out. I don't do the her down very much. I really hate fixing my hair. Like, I really, really, really hate it. It's always pulled up and back. I know that's gay. But I don't care. I put a hat on it so it's less gay. All right, guys, we are long still from 57.7. I did shave some profit off yesterday. We have secured over $7,000 in this trade. I am about 87% out of this trade. I'll show you why I took more profit, and it goes in with our strategy that we're going to use for alts. I'll show you why. I'll show you that in just a second. I did enter a long this morning, but I'm already out of it. We bounced. I'll zoom in. We're short Bitcoin, and then we're going to go right into alts. We bounced a little from the green box, but I didn't like what I saw, and Bjorn flipped around on me, so I closed the trade. I made 70 bucks. A little nothing. Hotborn says, the hair is crazy, so weird to see that. I know. I'll fix it up for you guys. I'll fix it up for Friday. How about that? Friday. We'll unleash it on Friday. Got a little poll in chat. I've also pinned a comment in chat. Go over to anthonyleeraw.com. Pay attention, guys. The strategy I'm about to show you, I know it's not fair, but it is what it is. You can only get the Bjorn indicator on our VIP Discord. That's it. I created the indicator. You cannot get it anywhere else. And it is all you need, guys. And I'm going to show you, and I'm going to prove it to you. So just stick around. Just hear me out. I'm telling you, if this next hour wastes your time, if you don't make more money than you ever dreamed possible, then you know where I'm at. Come see me. We'll talk about it. Anthony Lee Raw. We rebranded. AnthonyLeeRaw.com. Join the VIP Discord. You will get the Bjorn indicator in there. Even if you only join for 1 month. You get the Bjorn indicator, and if you leave the next month, we hope you don't. We hope you find value, but if you do, you get to keep the indicator. We don't take it back, so it is yours to keep. You're going to want it. I'm about to prove it to you guys. All right, so I've got a couple of alts I see in chat that I'm going to take a look at, but if you want me to look at your altcoin, drop it in chat. I'll be happy to do so if we have time. Obviously, I can't get to 1,000. And super chats are open. If anybody who super chats wants me to deep dive on their altcoin, and if you're in Discord, I will shoot you. I will deep dive on it today. I'll give you the macro targets based upon market cap. I'll give you the Bjorn strategy, all that kind of good stuff. I'll send it to you in Discord if we don't have time on the stream. But super chats are open. We appreciate you guys from the other day. Let's real quick look at Bitcoin July stats. I mean, right on target, guys. Anybody who's acting surprised by this doesn't pay attention. And I'm not saying we're always right. We do get them wrong, but this was drawn up on June 29th, guys. I mean, I don't really, at this point, anything can happen. I mean, Bitcoin could just, but at this point, I don't think you could have possibly drawn this up any better. I would be hard pressed. You'd have to find somebody who drew this up better days in advance, like 11 days ago. So I'm not bragging. I'm just saying we're prepared for this. Like, we're ready for this. And I'm going to show you how I knew to TP on my big trade up there. I'm going to show you that in just a second. And then we're going to jump right into alts. Oh, we got this picture from yesterday. How about this? You guys hear about the Empire State, folks? Y'all see? Everybody see about the Empire State Building, folks? Did y'all see the flag that they hung, the banner they hung up there? It was hard to see in real time, but we zoomed in on it yesterday, and this is the banner they hung. I couldn't believe it. I didn't even know they were fans of the channel, but these guys, they're Anthony Lee Raw folks, apparently. I don't know. I don't know who makes this stuff. All right, we're going to dive in. So last cycle, and I know I got to prove to some of you newer folks, so we're going to prove that right now, and then we're going to dive in, okay? This is it. Last cycle, I turned $25,000 into $1.4 million. I'm going to show you what I sold for. One of these is on Uphold and one is on Coinbase. I have neither of these counts anymore. I got Big Brothered on Coinbase, and Uphold's a ripoff. So here was what I closed out on Coinbase. Almost $1 million closeout, 900K on Coinbase. And then my Uphold, and all of this is in Discord. Get in the VIP Discord, all this in there. And I closed out 500K, I don't know if you guys can see that, on Uphold. So it was just over 1.4 million, okay? And I'm not bragging. I'm going to teach you how I did it from a $25,000 investment. And I didn't ride, that's a 56X on my games. And I didn't ride any coin for 50X gains. But I'm going to show you what I did, okay? Oh no, what are we overlording? My new vibe suits me. Yeah. Listen, guys, I am so sick, and I'm sorry, but I am so sick of seeing these retarded, excuse me, my skin sensitivity training is gone. These people, these influencers online, just telling everybody this nonsense. Oh, your coin's gonna 100x tomorrow, and you know, XRP's going to $25, and gosh, and people just eat it up. And I get it. I really get it. Like, that sounds too good to be true, because it is, guys. Yeah. Maybe some of these coins are going to 50, 100. Maybe some of these coins are going to 50, 100x. I get it. But they're so rare. But those are the only ones you see. So you think it's common because you don't see the millions or tens of thousands of others that don't do that. You don't see those because they don't get clicks. So you think that's commonplace, and it is so rare, it's not even funny. So we're going to show you how to make those same gains without having to catch that rarity, right? And chances are, by the time you've caught it, if it does 100x, by the time you've caught it, you're only going to get 10 of it anyway, which is good. But, you know, it's so rare, guys. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do what I'm about to show you, not financial advice. No, you don't do what I'm about to show you. You do you. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, and guys, go over to the, when we get done here, go over to the page here. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. But I did already put out videos on INJ and Fetch. I didn't show Bjorn on here. Okay, I'm about to show you Bjorn, but I showed the market cap targets. Never fib your price. It doesn't work. It works on a coin like Bitcoin. And it works on all coins that are already fully diluted and their token unlocks. But if your coin is unlocking coins periodically, then price is not linear. You can't throw a fib on a price where you had 100 million coins and you now are at a price at 1 billion coins. You've 10x'd your supply, so fibs don't work. But fibs do work on market cap because market cap is not affected by your supply. So then you fib the market cap and then divide that market cap level by your circulating supply, and that will give you your actual price target. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And I'll walk through that in the INJ and Fetch videos here. And anybody who wants to super chat and do all that, I will shoot videos for you on your coins. You know, we're trying to boost up the channel. We want to grow the channel. We want to help as many folks as possible. So anything you can do to help us out. Anyway, let's dive in. So look, I'm going to look at Fetch. Okay, that was the first one I saw in chat, and that is one of my babies here. Let me just zoom out. I'm on the weekly. Here are my levels. If you want to screenshot these levels, or better than that, go watch the video. And I'm going to hide all this, and I'm going to show you one of the two strategies, okay? I'll give you a second. Oops. Sorry guys, I thought I had this set up for INJ. We're going to Fetch. I guess I could have just done INJ. Whoopsies. All right. So on the left, I have market cap, and on the right, I have price. This is how you're going to make your big dollars on the next bull cycle, okay? I'm on the weekly time frame. Let me turn this last thing off here. I'm on the weekly time frame. This is how you're going to make your big dollars on just a couple of trades, guys. Couple of trades, okay? Make sure I get this right. Oops. 892 divided by 2.3. Of course I don't have it right. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, guys. I had this set up for INJ. Almost got it. All right, here we go. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Okay, so on the left I have market cap, I'm on the weekly, and on the right I have price, and I'm going to show you how you find your levels, okay? So on the left, let's pay attention to market cap on the left, okay? You see how this was like clear resistance back here, right? Clear resistance. Resistance, support, resistance. You knifed through here, but this was that big October 10th liquidation, right? But even still, you came back and closed that nasty candle, 80% down candle. You closed it positive, right above it, so it's still applicable. But either way, right after that, you found resistance, right? But let's look over to, and even when you come back here, you had it as resistance way back there, okay? So, but let's come back and look at where this was on price each time you had that, okay? So, right here on price, on the first one here, and you could trace to, from the left, I have the vertical line, you can see where it is on the right, is way up here, okay? That was that level right there, okay? When you come back over here, you can see it's here, right? And then when you move further, you can see it's now here. And then the last time, of course, you knifed through it, but then it was resistance there, right? So look how it's different prices, okay? But it's the same level here. This is the level that's important, okay? Over here, these are the ones that are important because market cap is linear, okay? That's where you're going to find your resistance is market cap and your support, not price. So we need to know, why is this different? Like this level that I have marked out, that I have key on the right, that is for current resistance based upon this market cap. But you just flew through it here, dumped through it, flew through it, dumped through it. It was nothing back here on price. Why? Because on Fetch, and I'll turn them on for you real quick, on Fetch you had 750 million coins in circulation all during this area, and now you have 2.3 billion, okay? So that affects your key levels, but it does not affect your market cap. Your market cap's your market cap. That's how much money's coming in, right? So we have to mark out new key levels. So if you were to come and mark out these levels right here as, you know, and try to drive it straight across, it's not applicable. It doesn't work. See how you just knifed up and down through it right here? No support, no resistance, because this is not a valid support or resistance level. It never was. What was valid support and resistance was market cap. Market cap. That just happened to be the level coinciding with market cap based upon the number of coins you have on the market. I hope that makes sense. So what we've done, and you have to do this for your coin, okay? And I'll be happy to do it for you. But what we've done is we've gone through, and I fibbed. Well, I didn't fib for these. I just went through and kind of eyeballed it. You can simply just eyeball it and see where you bounced, where you found support and resistance. And I can see it's a very clear line right here on market cap. That's where support and resistance is. So then I took that, pulled out the old trusty calculator, and if it's millions, you have to put a dot in front of it. Billions, you don't, okay? So it's 892 millions is my market cap. Dot 892, and then you divide that by your circulating supply, okay? And the circulating supply for Fetch, I've already done the homework, is 2.3 billion. Divided by 2.3 billion, that gives me a price of about 39 cents, okay? So I have my level marked out over here at 39 cents, and that is my key resistance level based on market cap. Even though back here, 39 cents was nothing. That's because you had a third of the coins in circulation, so price was able to go higher while at the same market cap. I hope that makes sense. That's why I always tell you people, in my videos, when you look at coins and they're 5, 6, 7, 10xing their supply next cycle, don't expect all-time high. Because even if you hit all-time high again on market cap, you're going to be nowhere near that on price. And people get that confused. You don't understand. Like, it's a bullish coin. They're partnering with so-and-so. They're changing the world. Well, great. Fine. I don't give a shit. They're adding 700% more coins to the supply, so they're going to have to 7x their previous all-time high market cap just to hit price all-time high. And maybe that happens for a coin or two, sure, but it's an uphill battle you don't need to fight when there's so many coins that aren't diluting the market like that. That is my only point, okay? So find your market cap levels, divide by your circulating supply, and then place those lines on your price chart. And those are your key levels, okay? So let's go back to the main fetch chart here, and I've done that. I know this chart's a little busy. I'm gonna clean it up just a little bit. And I also put my market, you do the market cap retrace levels, the fib levels. You would want to fib your market cap. Again, don't fib your price, right? Don't fib your price because you've added so many coins to the market. So you're going to fib your market cap, and then you're going to take these like golden pocket, 618, and you're going to divide that by your circulating supply. And that's where you would come back over here and put like your golden pocket market trace level, okay? It is not going to be the same if you were to throw a golden pocket on it from here to here, right? If you throw a golden pocket on from here to here, you can see your golden pocket is coming in way up here at your 1-to-1. But in order to hit the golden pocket on price, you actually have to hit your all-time high market cap because you've added coins to the market. So you have to have more money come in to raise the price up higher, okay? So you do not fib your price. You're going to get round-tripped if you do that. I guarantee you. All right, I hope that makes sense. If anyone has questions how I found these levels, and here are the levels, but if anyone has questions on how I found the levels, let me know. All right, and so from current price of fetch, I have fetch going to $10 billion and a $4.35 fetch. Okay, from current price, that is about a 27, 28x, okay? But I'm out. Like, I'm out way before that, guys. Like way, way, way before that. Matter of fact, it wouldn't surprise me if I got out at $1.22, okay, which is going to be about an 8x. An 8x. That's actually a good level. If fetch is going to underperform, it's going to turn around right there, okay? Even if it doesn't, I'm selling there. Most likely, I'll reevaluate when price gets there. But that might be it for me. An 8x. But I'm going to 40x my money, even though I'm only going to ride this for an 8x. And if it goes on to a 25x, so be it. It goes on without Anthony Lee. I don't care. I've already 40x my money. Okay? And why ride the drama? And what if it doesn't go there? Like, what if it doesn't go here? And I'm expecting it, and I need it. Like, I need it. I don't need it. I want to 40x my money right here and get out. And then everyone else can ride this drama roller coaster and hope and pray that, you know, these 80, 70, 80% pullbacks go back up. Like, no, sir. No, thank you. Don't do that. That's dumb. Plus, it may never go up there. Clarence, I just showed you I got the levels, bro. I literally just showed you. Market cap divided by circulating supply. Super easy. Fib your market cap. Go back. You have to go back and watch it. I can't walk through this again. You go back and fib your market cap, and that gives you the Fibonacci retrace levels. You then divide. So let me put this on here for you. Price equals market cap divided by circulating supply. So throw a fib on your market cap, divide that by your circulating supply. You're going to figure out your own coin circulating supply at the next cycle. Not necessarily today, guys. You have to figure out when you think the top of the next cycle is going to be. And ask ChatGPT or go look up the unlock schedule. All of your coins post unlock schedules and figure out what, because you may be at 100 million coins today, but like Ondo, for example, people are going to get wrecked on Ondo, guys, because they don't do their homework. People don't do anything. They just listen to bullshit from other influencers, okay? Ondo, so you look at price today on Ondo, 31 cents. This is why you have to go do your homework and see what's going to happen later. Like, you have a certain amount of coins, right? What do you have right now? 4.8, call it 5 billion coins in circulation, right? Right? That's what you got. You can look it up. But Ondo, so if you just got your levels based on today's circulating supply, you're screwed next cycle, because Ondo is releasing 1.7 billion tokens each of the next 3 Januaries. So whenever the next cycle high is, if it's 2029, you're going to have 10 billion coins on the market, not the 4.8 that you have right now. So you have to go either ask ChatGPT how many coins will Ondo have in circulating supply by 2029, Or if you don't trust ChatGPT, that's fine. Go look up each of your coins. Going to have white paper and unlock schedule and things like that. And there's websites dedicated to that show unlock schedules. But you have to figure out future circulating supply. Because what your level may be today at 4 billion coins is not going to be the same when you're at 10 billion coins. And that's why people are going to get wrecked. Because all these influencers I hear calling for this $10 Ondo, blah, 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 blah. The most Ondo ever did was $2.14. And you are 4xing your circulating supply by next cycle, 4 times more than you had here. So to even hit $2 again, you have to 4x your all-time high, the most you've ever done market cap. And people are dumb. Can that happen? Sure, it can happen. But I'm trying to tell everyone, yes, it can happen. And maybe it does. I don't care. It's an uphill battle that I don't want to fight. Fetch. Let's go back to Fetch. Look at Fetch. Let me show you an uphill battle. A non-uphill battle. Right here, cycle high, last cycle, $2.20. Fetch had 2.3 billion coins. 2.3 billion coins. Currently, you have 2.3 billion coins. By next cycle, guess what? 2.3 billion coins. So all I have to do next cycle is what I did last cycle on market cap, no better, no worse, and I'm going to have 220. But Ondo has to do 4 times more to hit its 220, its all-time high, which was what, 214? Same thing, 220, 214. Ondo has to be 4 times more bullish than Fetch AI to just do what it did last cycle. And maybe it does, and that's great. I'm not hating on those people who make that kind of money if it happens, but why? Why fight that hard when you don't have to? But these people, these influencers, and even Ondo project people themselves, the marketers, they're telling you how bullish the project is, and maybe it is, but is it 4 times as bullish? I don't know. I don't know. I will tell you that 99.9% of projects are not. So why roll the dice on a coin that has to just work so much harder than so many of the others to do the same thing? It just doesn't make logical sense. And maybe you catch the diamond in the rough. Maybe. But I'm not willing to stake my life savings on it, okay? Because chances are most of those people aren't going to know about the unlock schedule. They're going to expect at least all-time high again. And in reality, the all-time high for Ondo, look, let me show you. Let me show you what the all-time high for Ondo is. You think it's 220 because that's the price all-time high. The actual all-time high for Ondo is 52 cents for its market cap all-time high. And you don't see it right now because it's already at 31 cents. And you think, well, shit, that's only like 60% higher. But you have over 5 billion coins coming on the market between now and then. So price is just going to go January, boom. January, 1.7 billion, boom. January, 1.7, boom. So then it's going to be a real uphill battle just to get to 52 cents. And people don't understand that. You're being diluted. And so those of you waiting on this, maybe you get it. But more often, 99.9% of the time, you're going to wait on it, round trip your bag for 4 years. Because you weren't aware of your diluted circulating supply. Pay attention, guys. Clarence, that's how you get your retrace levels. And for the key levels, you're literally just going to eyeball it, okay? You're literally just going to eyeball it. You have to see where price turned around on these key. Hang on a second. You have to see where the price turned around on these key levels, right? Like this is clear, obvious. Yeah, and you don't want to just look for one rejection or support point. You want to look for multiple. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 times you had a major macro bounce or rejection there. That's a key level for sure, right? And where else can we find one? Okay, this is clearly a key level here, right? I'm on circulating supply, clear key level there. This is a good one, right? You got boom, 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 key level there. And you're just going to go mark these out with a line, like I'd put a line, and like I did here. Boom. These are your majors, and I put some minors in there that you maybe didn't have quite as much confluence. But here's your majors. You just go find where they were clear support and resistances, right? I mean, you can see here, resistance, support, 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 support. And when you lost it, big move down, right? Clear level there. Right here, same thing. I know you flew through it the first time, but then support, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance. And when you lost it, big move down. So you're going to find these and then go divide your market cap number, excuse me, divided by your circulating supply to get your price. And then you're going to mark whatever price you get by dividing market cap by circulating supply. You're going to go mark that out on your chart, price chart. Here are my levels. If you just want to copy them for fetch, and I'll be happy to do it for you guys on your altcoins. You just got to let me know. And here are the more minor levels. So these are all of my levels on market cap. I'm more interested in the majors. Most of you are probably going to be more interested in the majors. Some of you degen people, I get degen sometimes. Some of you degen people are going to be interested in the minors. There's the majors. And when I transfer them over here, let me clear this up a little bit for you guys. This is my price chart. Show it to you one more time. Here's the major levels. I'm on the weekly time frame. The major levels, key levels. Never mind if you see it come back here, for those of you who weren't paying attention, and say, well, this level here, it wasn't support or resistance. You fell right through it, fell right through it. You didn't pay attention. Go back and watch the video. This is not a level for key level for price for the entire life of the coin. It is a key level for price from now going forward based upon the new circulating supply of the coin, based upon market cap. All right, let's talk about Bjorn strategy, okay? All right, so let me show you just using this first, just using this. Here is how you could completely ridiculously maximize your gains, okay? Just using this, okay? Let's say, and I'm going to make this up as we go, okay? Let's say we bought $10,000 worth somewhere down here. Maybe you didn't catch the low. You didn't catch the low. You just bought lowish, right? Let's say you bought $10,000. Let's see, the bottom here was about 5 cents. Let's say you bought it 7 cents. You bought $10,000, 10K fetch at 0.07. All right. And I'm going to show this is how you do it. This is how I 56x my gains by writing a coin for only an 8x last cycle. Right here, what I'm about to show you. Oh, and this is how, look in Discord, this is how we've done it. My first fetch purchase was 255 fetch, 255,000 fetch. First one, I posted in Discord, rolling on up. Then we went up to 500,000 fetch. Spot trading without investing a single nickel more, okay? And we continue this, and you guys in Discord, VIP Discord know, I'm now over 600,000 fetch. I could be way more than that, but I took a lot of my fetch profit and bought INJ, okay? WorldCoin, and I'm about to give you the goods right now, but I know some of you have to see it to believe it. WorldCoin, my first WorldCoin purchase, February 1st, $55,000. 140,000 WorldCoin, okay? 140,000 WorldCoin for $55,000, okay? What was my last sell? Anybody? Gave the WorldCoin trades. I don't even know where it is. Is that it? No. That was an H-bar trade. I don't know where it is. I can't find it. I've shown this 1,000 times though. The last WorldCoin trade was 360,000 coins, something like that. It's going to bother me that I can't find it though. It's really going to bother me. can't find it. It was 300 and something thousand coin. Here it is. 362,000 WorldCoin, okay? Okay? First trade was 140,000 WorldCoin. Last trade, 362. That's almost a 3x without spending a nickel more, guys. I just spot traded. That's it. I just spot traded. And this is what we do in the Discord. So join the Discord. All right, but anyway, here's how I did it in the last cycle on the macro. And this is how I'm going to do it again. I'm going to take my holdings, whatever I have now, whatever I ride into the next cycle, once we bottom and move on up, right? So let's say you bought $10,000 worth of fetch. This is it, guys. This is all you're ever going to need. And then I'm going to show you Bjorn, how you can improve on even this. At 7 cents, that's going to give us 142,000 fetch, okay? For 142K fetch. That's how many coins we got. Okay, and we have our levels marked out here. And you have to remember, these levels were not the same. These would not have been, I know you're looking at this key level and saying, wow, we ripped right through it. That was nothing. These levels suck. This is not the same price it would have been back then, okay? So this level would not have been on the chart back then. It would have been a different level because you only had 750 million coins on the market versus 2.3 billion now. So this level that I have marked out is for going forward. So you just have to humor me here because I understand the levels aren't the same. But the principle is the same, and this is exactly what I did, okay? So let's say that you wrote it up, and you wrote it up to this key level here. You came and perfectly rejected this key level right there at about 62 cents. But let's say you didn't even time it perfect because it might have ripped up. You waited till it pulled back a little, and you sold for 55 cents, okay? So then we're taking our 142,000 coins and we're selling for 55 cents, okay? That is 78.5K, okay? Let's put that down. Pay attention, guys. Sold at 0.55 for 78.5K. Okay, but you didn't want to just take your money and run even though you've made a $70,000 profit. Like you want to stay in the bull run. But why ride this 74% drawdown? Why? That's gut-wrenching. You know, you panic, you freak out, you sell, you leave the market. Why do that? That's dumb. And what if it doesn't come back up? What if that's it? What if that's it? Okay? Wouldn't you be glad you sold and you 7x'd your money here? Right? However, let's say you sold, because that's what you should do just in case it's over. But number two, you could accumulate. So you sold for 78K, then you roll back to this key level. And you said, okay, well, I'm not going to blind enter, but I'm going to wait till I get the signals I want to see. And you came down here, you said a little bullish divergence right there, and boom. So you rebought. And let's say you didn't get the level perfectly at 18 cents. You bought in at 20 cents. Let's say you bought in back in at 20 cents. Okay, divided by 0.2. You now have 392,000 coins. Okay, let's put that down. Rebuy at 0.20. 0.20 for 392K fetch. Well, you can see right now, you've already gone from 142K fetch to 392K fetch and didn't spend a nickel more. Not one penny came out of your pocket to almost triple your holdings, okay? And then let's say you rode that back up and fetch went to 350, but let's say you didn't even wait on that, right? Let's say you just rode it up here, I don't know, $2.20, 220, right? And I'm making this up as I go, times 2.2. Boom, you made $865,000, okay? Sold at 2.20 for 865K. Okay, that is what you sold for at the end of the day. You walked away. It doesn't matter that Fetch did almost a 2x after that. You made $865,000 from a $10,000 investment by doing one trade. And how did you get that trade? Because you had your two key, macro key market cap levels marked out. That's it. Okay, maybe you don't get this big of a trade, or maybe it takes you 2 trades. Maybe you get this other little trade here in the middle. But that's how you do it. And had you just taken your 142K fetch and sold at 220, 142,000 times 2.2, you would have made $312,000, which is great. That's awesome. $10,000 investment, you made $300K. That's awesome. But that's not $865,000. So you tripled, right? You tripled. What did you do? You went from 7 cents to 220. All right, that's a 30x, but you 90x'd your profit because you got a 3x in there on this one macro spot trade. So you 90x'd your money by doing one trade. And I'm not saying Fetch is going to do a 30x again. I don't know. I don't care. But that's not even the point. The point is this macro trade based upon the key levels, that's how you do it. That's how I did it. And I'll show you indicators that help me with this as well. Bjorn, that's all you need. And we'll turn the key levels back on again. And the good, again, guys, like if you sell here and your intent is to accumulate, right? So you want to accumulate, you want to sell there. You don't want to ride 70% down, which sucks. So you're like, I'm going to sell, I'm going to accumulate and then ride up. And then if it doesn't happen in this, that's it. Bull market over, down to the bear market. You're not stuck riding down to 74%, banking on a bounce that never came. And you're thanking the Lord you sold here with intent to accumulate, but it wound up being the top. So you reduce your exposure to the market when it's unnecessary for you to still be in it because you're at a key resistance level that almost certainly is going to reject. So it's really a win-win. And don't think that can't happen. Do you understand that this was Bitcoin's first run up? Let's pull it side by side. Here's where all your ridiculous influencers are steering you wrong, probably intentionally, most of them. Not all. There's some good ones out there. But let's pull it up. Let's pull it up on the side by side, guys. Okay, right. Here's where, Bitcoin ran up and topped right here and pulled back, right? Right? Fetch did the same thing. And then everybody expected when Bitcoin goes up and sets this high that alts are going to do the same, right? So everybody rebought in here. All your influencers that are feeding you nonsense. And what happened? Alts rolled over. They didn't go back up. Yeah, they got a little bounce, but that was it. Dead cat bounce to over. Wouldn't you be glad that you sold there with intent to rebuy and ride up, and it didn't happen? And instead of you waiting on this massive bounce, you're just now figuring that out down here. Once everybody finally figures out Bitcoin's in a bear market, Fetch is down here, right? So you reduce that risk. And if you don't get the signals on the chart you need to see to re-enter, to ride back up, you just don't re-enter. Right? Because even on Bitcoin, guys, you have to remember, guys, if you were listening to folks, anybody but the crew, we told you, but anybody but the crew on Bitcoin over here on the right, all they were saying here was, okay, pull back, we're surely 200K is incoming, and it didn't happen. And it really wasn't until 60K that people started saying, oh, shoot, we're in a bear market. But trace my line to the left. Trace that line to the left. By the time your influencers told you you were in a bear market, Fetch was here. So you would have rode your $3.50 Fetch down to 14 cents before your influencers said it was over for Bitcoin. That's dumb. Do not be the blind following the blind, okay? Don't do that. We sell key levels, we rebuy key levels, and that will keep you on the right side of things just in case this happens. Let's see what we got in chat. Then I'm going to show you Bjorn. Salt Chain, thank you for the super chat. My super chat folks are so special. You already did the long video. You already do the longer videos on INJ and Fetch. Just want to say thanks. You are welcome. Thank you for your super chat. I will look up anything you want me to look up for your super chat. Eon says, so the new key on the price action chart based on market cap is just used for additional confluence, or is it major take profit? It is major take profit levels. My major key levels are major take profit levels. I will most certainly sell blindly at those, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to use Bjorn to use in confluence. Okay? So you put all future keys for years to come on your price action chart and use that for your prediction and take profit levels. Yes, but not for all years to come. I've gone out and projected what, for the coins that I'm following and the coins I do videos on, projected for just the next couple years, the next cycle. Some coins have unlocks going for 10, 20, 30 years to come, so you'd want to go out into future years. My point is, this would not necessarily be a permanent key level beyond the next cycle, okay? You'd want to reevaluate at the next cycle, see if you've added more coins on. And let me tell you something, guys. Just because, so when you have coins released, they're going to tell you how many coins that they're going to have when all is said and done. Some of them are infinite. Some of them may say 100 million coins. But you could partner with somebody. Fetch didn't unlock a single coin, okay? It looks like they did, but Fetch did not unlock a single coin, so you got to watch for partnership deals. Fetch went from 750 million to 2.3 billion, but that is not a token unlock. They partnered with a couple of other people. They partnered with Ocean Protocol, which that's dissolved, and a couple other people, and they merged into artificial superintelligence. So when they merged, the coins migrated over to the Fetch chain, okay? So that increased the circulating supply, even though it was not Fetch that unlocked. So just because your coin is at max circulating supply, it does not mean they can't add to their circulating supply. They would just have to partner with somebody. They might partner or merge with someone else, just like Fetch did, okay? So you have to be watching for those major mergers and partnerships like that, okay? If they partner with someone that has coins in the circulating supply already, they could migrate over to your coin. So just pay attention. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. And if you didn't pay attention to that on Fetch, you would have gotten wrecked. The altcoin stuff, including Bjorn that I'm about to show you, is in the VIP Discord, not just the pro traders group. Soul Chain's really excited for the cycle. Oh, this is life-changing, guys. I'm telling you, it's not that hard easy either. Once you have your levels marked out, that's it. You sit back, you wait for your signal at that level, and you execute. And I'm going to do it for, well, I'm going to do it for me in the Discord. So if you're in the VIP Discord, you will see exactly. And when it gets time for this macro, sometimes now with these day-to-day stuff, I just say, hey, I just bought $100,000 worth of Fetch at such this level. Hey, I just sold. But when it comes time for these macro trades, I'm going to tell you where I sold, how much I sold, and why I sold, and where I'm looking to rebuy. Because that's different. You called the Babylon trade way before it happened? Yep. We did that. Took that 98K trade I did, and then I got out way too. Yeah, I'm still in the 98K trade. I'm still in that trade. I don't see my stuff right now. I'm still in that 98. I'm still in that trade. I'm trying to find it. I'm mostly out, but I am still in it. I can't find it, but I'm still in it. I think I'm still in the 90. I'm not in the 98. I'm in the 81.7. I closed 98. 90. Yeah, we gave 98, but I closed it. I'm in the 81.7. All right, let's look at Bjorn. Guys, Bjorn is the only indicator you need. I use Cypher on occasion, but really just to find divergences and money flow. That's it, but I don't even need it because Bjorn covers money flow. But I was taught on Cypher, so it's just hard to let go of that. And I do like it, but I don't need it. Bjorn, one more time before I go into this. If you want this indicator I'm about to show you, and it is the best indicator you will ever find, you have to go and join the VIP Discord, anthonyleeraw.com. Join the VIP Discord. One trade, I don't really care how much money you use on it. One trade with this Bjorn will way more than cover your VIP. Like it's stupid how much money you can make on this. I'm going to show you right now. Let me clear this up a little bit. We're just going to go with a blank chart. I'm on Fetch. You can use it for Bitcoin. Matter of fact, that's how I got out of this. That's how I took big profit on this Bitcoin trade. I'm not going to walk you through the Bitcoin right now. This is altcoins. Look at Bjorn. Here it is. So Bjorn is down here at the bottom. Okay. Down here at the bottom. I'm on the weekly time frame. This is Bjorn. I have added these two lines right here, these orange lines. I added those. Boom. So it comes like this, but I added the orange lines, and I'm going to talk to you about that, okay? I need you guys to pay attention. If you want to make more money than you ever dreamed possible trading, spot trade or leverage, this is what you do. Now, let me say, Bjorn, just like any other indicator, the higher the time frame, generally the more powerful the move, okay? The multicolor line here, you see the multicolor line? This multicolor line, that is volatility. The dark gray line, that is stochastic, okay? What we want to see is volatility headed up, okay? When volatility is headed up, and this is the weekly time frame, and let me just say, I pretty much, if you don't like jumping in and out of trades and you just want to catch the big trades, stick to the daily and up. On occasion, I'll dip down to the 4 hour, and if I'm scalping or something, I might go down to the 5 minute or 15 minute, but for your big trades, daily and up, and if you don't, not financial advice, but if you don't take a weekly Bjorn signal, there's something seriously wrong with you. I'm sorry. Not financial advice, of course. But gosh, dog, I'm about to show you. All right, Fetch AI. So this bottom orange line I put on 15%, okay? And you do it just like you do anything else. You take a line, boom, put it on, and then drag it to wherever you want. I got mine at 15%, and I set an alert on that line, okay? The top line up here is at 80%. The top orange line I put on at 80%, and then I lock them in place and save it. Save your layout. So when volatility, the multicolor line comes down below 15%, that is called contraction, okay? That pretty much means dead volume. Volatility means how aggressive is the market moving? Is it dead? If it's down here, it's probably dead. Now, it could be dead on the weekly, but still be bam, 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 bam in price on the 5 minute, okay? But is it really going anywhere? You know, that's what the weekly is going to tell you. Is it really going anywhere? You know, a lot of people get caught up in these moves like look right here. See where it was down in this section? Right in here. But it looks like it's kind of doing something. Bam, 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 bam. But is it really doing anything? No, it's really just sideways, right? Because volatility was so low on the weekly, okay? It's not until you get it coming back up above, and I'm going to zoom back in, back up above the 15 that you have expansion. That's where you get the big moves, okay? And again, larger the time frame, the bigger the move. All right, so just because volatility is coming up does not mean price is going up. Here's where folks get it wrong. Oh, volatility is pointing up. Let's long. No. When volatility expands, or really when volatility is headed up, see, like right here, volatility didn't expand because you never contracted below 15, but it did point up. So that means business is picking up. Like price is fixing to get violent, okay? That's what that means. When it's headed up, and the higher up you are, when you're up at these extremes, that's like you're extremely violent. Like price is just ripping at that point, okay? But the big moves come when you come from full contraction and then cross the 15. I have an alert. You can set an alert on 15%. Set the alert. So every time it crosses 15, you get notified. You do have to set an individual alert on every time frame, okay? I have one on the daily and one on the weekly. That's it. I mix that up sometimes, but that's it. All right, so when this crosses, you look at what direction stochastic was pointing, okay? So let's look. Right here, it crossed right there. And it looks like it's way up here, but it's not. This is one candle. You can see it hops one spot. So it was here, and when the new weekly candle opened, it was here. So it was just one, boom. So as soon as that opened, I saw volatility expansion. So I knew, okay, business is picking up now. Where is it picking up to? Well, at the time, you got the cross to the downside. So I'm going to know to short right here. I'm going to short right here, right? I'm not even looking at price. I don't even know what happened. Boom. What happened? Big short. And as you can see, volatility has continued to the upside. We're going to go mark this out, but I'm going to show you. Volatility has continued to the upside, right? So I would not get out of this trade yet because volatility has continued to the upside while while stochastic has continued to the downside, right? So that lets me know, hey, no matter what's happening on your silly little 15-minute time frame and all that, on the weekly, we are still headed down aggressively because volatility is increasing while stochastic has not flipped up. It's still pointing down. So even though today you might bounce up 2%, on the macro, on the weekly, we're still headed down, okay? And let's go see if we had just taken that trade, you flipped at the top of this candle. When you open this new weekly candle, you flip to the downside, and if that would be your clue to sell or short, I mean, you're 41% down. 41%. That's on the weekly time frame. Now, it's taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks to get there, but you're 41% down. Number one, it saves you from riding 41% drawdown. Number two, if you shorted, if you're a leverage trader and you short, that's a shitload of money. And number three, if you sold here, say you sold $10,000 worth, you can now buy 40% more coins down here for the same money. Okay? That's how Bjorn works, but we're not done. We're going to take a look. And you don't get these weekly volatility expansions very often where you dip below, right? I mean, you got this. The last one you got was back in September, right here. So you don't get that very often. There's been a lot of moves made between now and then. However, you don't have to have full contraction for this to be powerful, right? Look right here. You did not come into contraction, right? You're way up here kind of at about 30%. You're not below 15. However, it was headed down, and then all of a sudden, it ticked up, right? It ticked up. So that told me that business was about to pick up, even though you weren't fully contracted down here. This told me, boom, we just ticked back. We were headed down. Volatility was cooling off, and then, boom, it ticked back up, okay? So I would pay attention to this, and when it ticked back up, I'm going to say, okay, what direction is stochastic headed in at the time that we ticked back up? Okay, and to do that, you just look at the gray line. Stochastic, is headed down, so I'm not even looking at price. I don't care. I know that we are fixing to have a big, aggressive move to the downside because we just ticked up on the weekly. Stochastic headed down, and let's trace it out. Let's go see what happened. Let's go see what happened. Got the tick up there. See, let me zoom back in. Got the tick up there. Stochastic headed down. And look at that, guys. Look, that's all you have to do if you did nothing else. So you're either selling if you're buying and holding, you're just a spot trader. You're just selling so you don't have to ride this BS down. Or if you're a leverage trader, you're shorting. And look, you got a 54% move down, guys. And all you did, like, this can't be wrong. It's impossible for this to be wrong. It cannot be wrong. It can't be, because it is literally telling you which direction price is moving with how much intensity. Okay, if it's headed down and stochastic's headed down, then that means you're moving down, but just not super aggressively. If volatility is headed up and stochastic headed down, that means you're moving down very aggressively. It can't be wrong. It's not predicting whether or not you're going to go up or down. It's telling you whether or not it's going up or down. It's just telling you how fast it's going. So it cannot be wrong. You can't have a false signal. Now, what it can do, starting on the daily, what it can do that some people might think it got it wrong is this. let's say, let me clean some of this up. This is really the only thing you have to be careful with. You can't just set it and forget it, right? All right, so look here. You got, where's my lines? Where is my lines? I don't see my lines. Let me put them back on real quick. I should have lines here. 15 and 80. All right, so you got volatility expansion here, right? You got volatility expansion. That's a bad example. I mean, this is a good example on the daily. You got volatility expansion with stochastic headed down. No, this is a great example. All right, you got volatility expansion here, right? At the time you got volatility expansion, I'm on the daily, not the weekly. At the time you got that volatility expansion, guys, stochastic was headed up. And here's where people will think he gets it wrong, but it doesn't. You just don't pay attention. All right, you got volatility expansion there. You moved up. It gave you this trade, again, on the daily, not as powerful as the weekly. But still, you got a 7% move up. And now it's come way back down, so a lot of people say, oh, it's wrong. But it's not. You just have to watch it. Because volatility is still, to this day, headed up. From this expansion, it is still headed up, right? But what happened is, in here, stochastic flipped to the downside. So that lets you know that, hey, price is still moving aggressively. It's just changed the direction it's moving. So that means get out of the trade if you're in a long, sell, or short if you're going to short. And so the move stayed aggressive, right? Here's where it flipped. So that's where you would have entered the long trade or the buy. And this is where it flipped. Stochastic flipped down. It was peaked here. It didn't flip, but at the opening of the new day, it had shifted down, and that told you to short or get out. So you could have had a 7% move up followed by a 17% move down. All you did was watch Bjorn. That's it. That's it. It is so easy, it's not even funny. And how we will use this on the macro is, we'll go to the weekly. When we come up to one of these levels, I'm going to have to refresh. I don't know where all my stuff is. When we come up to one of these key levels, I will just watch Bjorn. This whole move right here, this entire move right here, guys, on the weekly Bjorn chart, this entire move. Bjorn, from down here, you got volatility expansion. The entire time on the weekly, stochastic has been headed down. That's this whole move, guys. That's this whole move. 40+%. So when we come up to one of these key levels, I know it's going to be some time down the road. When we come up to one of these key levels, I'm going to be watching this Bjorn on the weekly. And if stochastic will be headed up here, I will watch for it to flip. And as soon as it ticks down, I know that I'm selling my key level. And then I'm going to watch. And as price comes down, hopefully, and I don't know how it's going to play out, but this will come down. And at some point, that stochastic, while volatility is headed up, is going to flip back to the upside. And that's going to tell me to rebuy, and hopefully at a key level, because that's some extra confluence, rebuy and ride up. And that's how we're going to do it. But I'm going to use that in confluence with the key levels to grow my bags. I hope that makes sense. Let's look at this. Marine Wife asked about INJ. Let's see how this worked for INJ recently. I haven't looked at this. Here's the INJ levels. I got a video out on this, but we're going to hide this stuff. And let's just look at Bjorn. I'm on the weekly. All right, we got Bjorn expansion down here. And guys, if you had 10 grand on this move right here, that's 162%. You made $16,000 with one weekly Bjorn trade. You made 16 grand on a $10,000 spot investment. No leverage, no risk, nothing. And all you got to do is trace it down to the bottom. Bjorn came down. Volatility contraction on the weekly. You expanded right there. What direction was it headed? What direction was stochastic headed? It's just simple. Like my 11-year-old could do this. Volatility ticked up. Stochastic was headed up. You enter your long trade or you spot buy, right? You ride it up. Here's how you know to get out. You can either watch stochastic, and this is where it gets tricky, a little more advanced. So if price is in this level, in between the 15 and the 80, right? I watch stochastic, and when stochastic flips, I get out. Okay? But if you get above 80, and this is why I have 80 marked, when you get above 80, when volatility ticks to the side or down, that doesn't mean price is going down or price is switching direction. That means things are cooling off, and that usually means that's the top or bottom. Okay? So look right here. It's kind of hard to see because this red thing's on the way, but I'll zoom in. The red bar and blue bars, they flash when you're at extremes. You're at extreme high here, red bar. Extreme lows here, blue bar. But you can kind of see where it ticked over right here. That means get out. That's get out. When volatility ticks above 80, that means get out. And let's go look. So look, the move to the downside, you had the aggressive move up here, right? Aggressive move up, volatility is moving up, right? Okay, so we know business is picking up, not price. Business is picking up. Which way is business picking up? Well, at the time business is picking up, stochastic is headed down. Right there, right? At the time business started picking up right there, stochastic was headed down. So that means we can expect this big move to the downside, which we got from right there. Big old INJ 48% move down. Well, how did I know this thing wasn't going to go 80% down? Because you ticked to the side in volatility right here. As soon as you open that candle with that tick down or tick to the side, in other words, no longer going up, as soon as we ticked right there, that tells me to get out. So I would have got out right there. Yes, sure, it went a little bit lower. I don't care. I caught the meat of the move, right? But that told me to get out, that something was shifting in the market. And what happened? You tick to the side, we closed the trade, volatility came all the way back down, and then it expanded again, right? And when it expanded again, let me move the white line. That tells me, okay, business is picking back up. We contracted, now we're expanding. Which direction are we expanding? Stochastic is to the upside. You can see the gray line to the upside, so that tells me it's time to rebuy. So now I'm rebuying a shitload more because I sold here, rebuy here, riding this up for 100+% profit. Bjorn Weekly, that's it. That's it. And you can drop it down to the daily, 2-day, 3-day, just depending on your tolerance level. Really, it's not even a tolerance level. They don't get it wrong. It's just how often you want to get in a trade. This is all you need. This is it. This is all you need. And you can see clearly on the daily, you have a lot more flippy-floppy than you have on the weekly. So if you're one of those people that just wants to get in a trade just once every couple months, once a month, stick to the weekly. If you want to get in a trade every couple weeks, stick on the daily. But the daily will mess with your mind, and that's fine. The daily will mess with your mind, though. Like, let's draw this out real quick. Right here, this whole move up. Right, look how flippy-floppy it got in here. Flippy-floppy, flippy-floppy, flippy-floppy. Right? A lot of flippy-floppy. So you might could have panicked if you're watching the daily. Oh, gosh, I should sell. And let's say you didn't, and then you saw, oh, gosh, I should sell. And you would have missed this whole move. And let's go look at that on the weekly. The weekly never changed, not one time. Not one time. Not one time did this whole area right here flippy-floppy on the weekly. So you never would have left this trade if you're trading on the weekly. But in the daily, look, I'm going to trace this out on the weekly so we can see. See the weekly? It never flip-flopped until right here at the top. Never flip-flopped. Let's go look at that on the daily. Look how many times it flip-flopped on the daily. A lot of flippy-floppy, 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 flippy-floppy. So you're probably not still in this trade if you're trading this on the daily. You probably missed most of it. But if you're sticking to that weekly, you didn't get out until right here. It would have been one candle over because you ticked to the downside on that candle. So yeah, you may not have caught the whole thing. I understand it ran up more, but you still caught 62%. On a $10,000 spot trade, no leverage, you still made $6,200. And you could have re-entered at the end of that tick if you so wanted to. The weekly gave you the re-entry here because volatility never ticked down. It continued up. You got out on one candle, you got out when the stochastic ticked down, but the very next candle it ticked back up. So you could have gotten back in and rode the rest of that move up for another 60% without having to ride that temporary drawdown there of 27%. Big moves stay on the weekly. Those of you like to trade a little more often, daily. Any questions on this, guys? Eons has the indicator. This is the only indicator you really need to use. Now, if you're a scalper, you know, you could use this on the 1 minute. I use it on the 1 minute when I'm scalping, but this is really all you need. Let's look at Cypher next to it. Oh, and the dots. Here's another big advantage of Bjorn over Cypher. So on Cypher, when you get these dots, let's look at all these red dots. Let's look at all these red dots. Oops. I'm going to mark them out on Cypher. Just a handful of these red dots. A lot of you people, I'm sorry, but foolishly just trade the dots. You see a dot, you trade. That's dumb. Okay, but if you're going to just trade a dot, you should just trade a Bjorn dot. Let me show you why. I built this Bjorn indicator. Okay, so so when you get a Cypher dot, all the dot represents, all it represents is this yellow line crossing over, okay? You get a crossover, this yellow line crossing the zero line. That's the VWAP. When the VWAP crosses, you get a red dot on Cypher, okay? However, on Bjorn, let's show Bjorn. On Bjorn, you only get a dot when, I actually have it tied to Cypher. You only get a dot. Let me mark them out for Bjorn real quick. You only got 2 on Bjorn during this time period. 3, 2. We're not going to go back this far. I'm going to show you the difference. We got 3. All right, so on Bjorn, this is Cypher, I know, but on Bjorn, the red dots, or the red lines represent where the red dots are on Bjorn. Notice they're not on these on Bjorn, just on Cypher. So on Cypher, you get the red dot when the VWAP crosses over the zero line. On Bjorn, you get the VWAP crossover plus money flow has to be coming down, plus momentum has to be coming down, plus stochastic has to be coming down. So you get everything that matters pointing in the downward direction to get the red dot on Bjorn. So 4 times as much confluence, okay? Momentum, money flow, VWAP, and stochastic all have to be angled down to get a red dot. And same thing to get a green dot. All 4 have to be angled up versus just the one VWAP for Cypher. So if you're going to blind trade something, why not trade a dot that has more confluence, 4 times more confluence, okay? And you can see what happens. You get the dot here on Cypher, this first dot right here on Cypher, right there, boom, but You did not get it on Bjorn, right? No dot on, see you get a dot here, but no dot here on Bjorn. And what happens? You get a little move down, but ultimately price goes up. You know, why? Because it was a VWAP dot. You didn't have all four in confluence. So just, I'd call this a losing move. It was a failure. So if you blind traded this on Cypher, you probably got wrecked. Okay? Look at the next dot. Same thing. You got a dot on Cypher, not on Bjorn. I mean, you maybe moved down, but then you moved up. Nothing. This is a losing trade. You probably lost this trade, right? Because you just moved up. You got the dot here and you moved up. But then here, you got the dot on Bjorn and on Cypher again. But the first two were losers. But notice Bjorn did not give you the dot here because it was shit. Bjorn gave you the dot here. Cypher did as well. But on Cypher, finally all four things were in confluence. So you got the dot. And if you just blind traded the dot on Bjorn, I mean, you caught the 80% move down on INJ. But you got wrecked 2 out of the 3 times by trading the Cypher dot. 2 out of 3. Yeah, Cypher gave you this dot, but okay. You got wrecked the first 2 times. Same thing over here. You got the Bjorn dot, got the big move down. 40%, and we're currently under a new dot, so who knows how that's going to play out. Here's another one, Cypher dot right here. Boom, but you did not get it on Bjorn, right? And what happened? You got to move up at 33% on a red dot, right? So, but I don't dot trade. Bjorn, Cypher, none of it. I don't dot trade. I just wait. Trade volatility and direction of stochastic. Stick to the weekly, daily and up. I think I've shown this to exhaustion now. Any questions on this, I'll be happy to answer it. It works on Bitcoin. Salt chain only on the weekly. Clarence, bro, you're not keeping up, man. I haven't said RSI once this video, man. There is no RSI. Sorry, bro. I don't dot trade at all, though, brother. I don't dot trade. Dot trades are for suckers. Use a dot. All you need is this volatility and stochastic. That's it. That's all you need. Volatility and stochastic. And this is not stochastic RSI. This is just stochastic, if that's what you mean, Clarence. Sorry, bro. There's a difference, by the way, for those of you who don't know. Stochastic and stochastic RSI. This is just stochastic. I don't dot trade. If I get a dot, so here's a good thing. If I get a dot, if I get a dot on Bjorn and volatility is angled down, I don't take it at all. The only way possible that I take a trade is if volatility is angled up. Doesn't mean it doesn't work out. I just don't mess with it. I'm trying to find one. You don't find that very much on the daily and up, though. Usually in the daily and up, when you get a dot, business is picking up. See how right here you got a green dot on Bjorn, but volatility is in contraction. It's low. It is cooled off. I don't trade that. Volatility has to be an expansion for me to take a dot trade. I don't trade that. And you can see it didn't work out. This is on the daily. It just didn't work out. If volatility is, anytime volatility is below 15 on a time frame, I don't trade it. There you go, Clarence. Stochastic. That's what I'm talking about. You're welcome, West Coast. I hope that makes sense. I know I kind of rambled on a lot, but it's so important, guys. Like on this weekly stuff I just showed you, we're not talking about getting in a move for a 2% move. I'm talking 40, 50, 60, 100+% moves, guys, on the weekly. And I hope you also appreciated what I showed you about how I showed you side by side the same move on the weekly, Bjorn, versus how it looked on the daily. You would have flippy-floppied in and out. You'd be so confused, you'd probably get wrecked. But if you just stuck to the weekly, you made over 100%. How is BTC looking? It's back to 61K. Are we close to the summer rally starting this week? Yeah, this was predicted. We called for this. This was put out June 29th. This is exactly what we're looking for. This is no surprise to us. We literally we called for the move on the 8th. Remember the 8th? Remember I kept saying pay attention to the 8th. Y'all remember that? I know you remember that. I know you remember that. I said the 8th. Let me show you, Bjorn, on Bitcoin, why I got out of the trade. Not out, but took profit. Look, today is the 8th. I literally said the 8th, guys. Literally said the 8th. And how did I do that? I've been preaching this all year. But Bitcoin moves almost exact in bear market years. It just does. Look at this move down, guys. This is in 2022, July 2022, July 8th in 2022, bear market July. Hang on. Bear market July in 2018, bear market July 2018, July 8th. Bear market July 2026. July 8th. And I know some of you are new here with this, but for those of you who aren't, this is no surprise. Go back and look at each month compared to the previous two bear markets and see how similar they play out. I mean, it is more than just a rhyme. Like, it is like, holy shit, if we don't trade this, we're crazy. Right? I mean, there have been some exceptions, and maybe it's a day or two off here or there. If a move is 15% this year, maybe it was 18%, but it's pretty damn close. So we drew this up a couple weeks ago. This is expected. So yeah, we've been calling it. I've been trying to get the slogan, dip then rip. That's what I'm expecting. That's what I've been saying because I want it to catch. Dip then rip. That's what we're expecting. So the pullback in 2018, let's look. From July 8th, you bottomed 4 bars later, so 4 days later. So July 12th, you started the turnaround on July 12th. And it doesn't have to happen that way this time, but let's look at 2022. July 8th, you bottomed 4 bars later. You started the turnaround on day 5. So 4 or 5 days. 4 or 5 days, guys. We could have 4 or 5 days of pullback, at least historically speaking, on bear market Julys. 4 or 5 days. So from the 8th, we kind of started yesterday on the 7th. So what is that? You know, I don't know. 11th, 12th, somewhere in there. 13th, probably at the latest. We could just grind down here, guys. Dip then rip. Make everybody think, oh gosh, here we come. 54K's incoming. Boom. Gone. Next up, 82K. Dip then rip. But let me show you why I took profit on my trade. And this is what I was telling you guys on Bjorn when we looked at Fetch a minute ago, or Injective. All right, so we took this trade, and if you're just joining us, here you go. I'm still in this trade, but I've secured over $7,000 profit. I gave this trade in advance in the VIP Discord, and then as soon as I took it, I let you know in the Discord that I took it, and I've let you know how I managed it along the way. But look, so first of all, we were looking for the level, period, because it was the macro golden pocket, all that good stuff. This green box has been on the chart forever, right? We're looking for this level. We got it. But what happened? I'm on the daily time frame. What happened on that day? On Bjorn, pay attention, guys. This is how you can make money. This is how I make money. It's so easy. Get in the VIP Discord and get this freaking indicator. If you don't have it, you're crazy. So look what happened. Oh, sorry about that. Go back to Bjorn. So we were in volatility contraction, right? Multicolor line coming down, volatility contracting. The stochastic headed down on that day. Volatility expanded, and what happened? Volatility of the multicolor line expanded. What happened? Stochastic, which had been coming down, flipped up at the time of volatility expansion, which is the multicolor line. being below the 15%, this orange line, and then coming back above it. You expanded. That meant to me a big move is aggressively occurring right now. It's beginning because we're expanding. Which direction are we headed? Are we going down or up? Stochastic flipped up. I said, oh shit, we got a big move coming to the upside, okay? At the beginning of it, my entry is 57.7K. Bjorn fired off. I entered this trade, and there it is. And look, nothing about this, and I kept saying this, if you're not in the VIP Discord, or if you are, you can vouch. I've been telling almost every day, there's no reason for anybody to not still be in this trade. Nothing on the chart has indicated to get out until today. Really until yesterday. Okay, and it doesn't mean get out. It just means you might want to tease some heavy P, okay? But so volatility's been headed up, right? We got above 80, which is why this line's on the chart. Got above this orange line, 80. And yesterday we ticked down, ticked to the side, ticked down. It's no longer headed up, it ticked down, volatility. And like I just explained on the alts, that is my key when you get above 80 and it ticks either sideways or down. Either way, it doesn't mean price is going down. It just means things are cooling off. It's probably reached its peak. If nothing else, probably a good time to take some profit. Now, in this particular case, stochastic flipped down, so that's extra confluence, but it didn't matter. If volatility ticked down, I'm shaving the profit, and that's what I did. And look where it ticked down. I'll mark it out. Right there. See, it was still up, and then when you flip over to this candle yesterday, when you open that candle for the day, it looks like a huge line here. You see, it looks like a big old line. So it took forever, but that's one day. That's one day. See, if I move the cursor, that's one day. That's one day. So when it opened yesterday, it opened with the volatility ticked to the downside, and I shaved off profit. And that's the first indication of all of this whole move. There's nothing else on the daily time frame that says you should have taken profit or gotten out. Volatility still headed up. Stochastic never flipped to the downside. Still headed up. That means price is still going up. Never mind your little 5-minute candles to the up and down. On the daily, which is where we entered, nothing said get out. Nothing. People get so caught up in 5 and 15-minute time frames. F all that stuff. If you enter on the daily, stay on the daily. Manage your trade on the daily. If you enter on the weekly, stay on the weekly. It'll keep you on the right side of things. And it'll let you know as soon as it flipped over. As soon as it flipped over, boom, get out. Or don't get out and take some profit. I didn't get out. I took heavy profit. Over $7,000 worth in one trade. And look, it was a good call. I mean, that's just how it's done. So easy. It's so easy. Let's look at one prior. Let's look at one prior. It's easy to say what's happening right now. Let's look at one prior. Okay, let's look. I'm not even looking at price, but you can see we had contraction here, right? We had contraction here. Came below 15. Okay, that tells me be ready. And I've got an alert set over here. You see my alert? So when it comes back above, my alert's going to signal the volatility is crossing 15 percentile. Okay? And when that happens, I'm going to pull up my old indicator, Bjorn, and I'm going to say, okay, we're fixing to have a big-ass move. Which direction? And for that, I'm going to look at stochastic. And right here, stochastic is headed down. Right at the time of expansion, stochastic headed down. So I'm not even looking at price. I don't remember what happened. But that tells me I'm shorting. Or if I'm spot holding, I'm selling. Right? Because we got a big move on the daily time frame, which is a powerful time frame. It's not like the 1 minute. Daily and up are powerful. So I'm getting out. And where I'm getting in, or I'm getting in my short, or I'm getting out my spot, where am I going to get out? Well, right here, it ticked, right? You got above 80, and then it ticked over. It rolled over. Not stochastic, volatility. That tells me to get out. Regardless of what it is, get out. Because that tells me things are shifting. Okay? And there it is. That's where I get out. So I get in here. I get in right here, right? See, I get in right there. And I get out right there. Okay? Yeah, sure. I may have missed this big wick at the bottom. It went down 9%, and I only got out at 7%. But that's okay. I didn't close this wick right here because, well, actually I would have because we had a green box. But if you're following the indicator, you didn't close this because at 9%, you didn't know that you weren't fixing to go 20% down, right? So you still got 7% of the move. You still got the meat of the move if all you did was turn everything off and just look at Bjorn, right? You still caught all of that of the move. And it told you to get out. It said get out. And what happened when you say get out? I mean, price really just went sideways. I mean, yeah, you got some wicks in here, but it's sideways. It's sideways. And then you just sat on your hands. Don't get caught up in that choppy sideways crap. If you want to scalp it, fine. Go lose your money. Or hopefully you don't. Hopefully you're really good at scalping, but you don't have to. So all you did was get out, right? You got out there. It told you to get out. And then what'd you do? This is how you trade, guys. This is so easy. So you got in, you got out, you made 7%, right? 7% is nothing to laugh at. On Bitcoin, I'll leverage trade. So let's say I usually do $3,000 on 30x leverage. 3,000 times 30x leverage. And if I just followed the indicator, no other technicals, no support and resistance, I just used Bjorn, I made 7% on that move. I made $6,300 in like 3 days. $6,300 on one trade, just trading the Bjorn. That's it. Bjorn expansion. And then what did I do from there? All right. So this told me to get out. So I got out and volatility started contracting, came down. I just sat on my hands. I just waited. You don't always have to be in a trade, guys. I just waited. Came back down, contracted, and then boom, we got the signal. My alert went off. I got the signal. Oh gosh, here we go. Business is picking up again. Business is picking up again. Volatility expanded. Stochastic headed up. So then I entered my long, guys. It actually expanded right there. I entered my long. And that's where we are now. That's where we are now. I entered the long there. Okay. So 6,300. Entered the long. It told me to get out yesterday at a 9% move. And that's what I did. $7,000 secured so far. So you would have made $6,300 plus $7,000. And that's from June 23rd to yesterday. 14 days, guys. 14 days, you're up $15,000 from a $3,000 account in 14 days. 2 trades, both of them given to you with Bjorn volatility. This is all I do. This is it. So we've shown how to use it on altcoins for your macro accumulation, how to 40x your gains on a 5 to 6x move up. And this is how you use it for intraday Bitcoin type trades. I've not shown you any time frame below the daily. You don't need it. Do whatever you want to do. I don't care. But I don't deal with that headache. That's a headache. I don't deal with that. If you need to make more than $15,000 every 2 weeks, so much so that you want to get down on the 5-minute time frame, have at it, brother. Have at it, sister. But for me, this is plenty. That's all you got to do. But here's what you do, and here's where you screw up. Not you, of course, you're great. All of you are great, but here's where people screw up. You enter here, and then you can't stand it. You can't stand it. You can't stand watching this candle ding, 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 up and down. So you drop down to this 15-minute and look at Bjorn on 15 minutes. This is crazy. This is crazy. Can you trade this? Yeah. Flippy, flippy, floppy, flippy, floppy, flippy, floppy, flippy, floppy. You better be really good, though. Don't do that shit. You enter on the daily, stay on the daily. Because you're going to miss these moves playing with a flippy floppy. Hope this makes sense, guys. Any questions before we go? Any questions? AnthonyLeeRaw.com. Come to the website. Get in the VIP Discord. You will get this indicator for free in the VIP Discord, and it's yours to keep forever, even if you leave the Discord 1 month later. You can't get this anywhere else. Can't get it. Bjorn Volatility 2.0. Bjorn 2.0. Right there. Super helpful recap on that indicator. Thanks so much. Appreciate all you do. Yeah, you're welcome. Remember, guys, use it on alts, spot accumulating alts. Don't leverage trade your alts. Do whatever you want to do. But that's crazy. They're too volatile, right? It's nothing for an alt to drop 3% in like an hour. Completely liquidate you. But it's very odd for Bitcoin to drop that much. You can make way more than you need leverage trading Bitcoin without that kind of volatility. It's just degen trading, in my opinion, or I just suck at it. Maybe some people are good at it. I just suck at it. So you can make a ton of money spot trading alts with it, and you can make a ton of money leverage trading Bitcoin with it. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'll be in Discord. Let me know if you need me. The Lord loves you guys. I love you guys. I will see you next time.